free, scumbag. It's the caps. The caps. Anyway, I found out what I did to do. I just had to talk to Edgeworth again. I don't know why I missed something like that, but hopefully this won't take less time. That's right, double upload today, I think. Now, that was a violent, bloody case. Violent, so it was a murder. A serial killing. A serial killing? Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. But the killer made a mistake, and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him. Oh wait, wasn't... Ugh, boy. Man. Maybe just a little bit lower. Well, that's the worst that could happen, eh? And even if you can't hear me very well, there's... And this was 2 years ago? That put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight and started the rumor mill. Rumors about forged evidence? Ah, because it was turned out that they got the wrong guy. They executed the wrong guy. It was supposed to be all cleaned up with the transferal the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is. Huh? What do you mean? Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see? So, that switchblade knife. The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself? Hey pal, look at the time! Was there something you needed to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. I'm gonna give them my report for the day. It might help, you know. Report? You mean the note written on the back of that flyer? The one that says nothing but no problems? Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he could use a report like this. He's gonna dock your pay again if you show him that. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you got friends like Detective Gumshoe? Lucky for me, I've got a bountiful feast. Chicken and chips. I know you didn't come here for a food eating SMR. Who needs enemies when you've got friends like Detective Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Later. I should probably see what Edgeworth has to say, too. Finally, we can talk to Edgeworth. Don't have anything to say to you. Woohoo! The bellboy! Oh, guests, my apologies. Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave. So long. What? Now, I know that sounds bad. Is Edgeworth here? There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. Right. He has the hotel bring him tea service? Maybe this is like a side hustle that the bellboy does. Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry? Oof. Oh, yeah. By the way, Detective Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Ah, yes. He brought me the latest information, it seems. Now that's the voice. I got it. Really? Was it helpful? Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. French? Yeah, nah. When that guy shows up, I'm giving him an Italian accent. The real info's on the other side, Edgeworth. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing has really taken a toll on him. Eh, he's been through worse. So, how did the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Concealing Evidence? Yes, apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. No! Edgeworth concealing evidence? Perish the thought. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again. I wonder how many times Edgeworth got bailed out for, some bullshit surprise evidence like that motherfucking updated autopsy report. Like, it was probably Von Karma who bailed him out. Again? I've heard him say that so many times, ever since that case 2 years ago. Updated autopsy report. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened. They gave control of the investigation over to the police department. The police department? Yes. Any further investigation for this case will be directed by the chief of police, Gant. I can do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you? Why? All along, I've only done what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still. Wow, I've never seen him this out of sorts. Wait. Best evidence, Oh, right. I'd better check this now. As I was saying, Oh, what's this? A record of ID card usage. Yeah. It better not tase me and steal this evidence, you fuck. Edgeworth, you went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that's true. Why, Mr. Edgeworth? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. The Chief of Police? He wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted to keep it here, in the prosecutor's office. But it was solved, right? So it had to be if the evidence was already filed. The chief was never going to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Can I ask what kind of evidence it was? I can't say. Murder weapon, someone was stabbed with a screwdriver. It really has nothing to do with the current case. Now I'm curious about this other case. I better make a note of it. If it has nothing to do with the current case... Aha! Unrelated evidence, screwdriver. So he just has it. Stubborn as always. I told you this has nothing to do with the current case. Then surely you'll have no problem if I check it out. Flathead screwdriver. The tag says AI-16. AI? What's that got to do with anything? Nothing, apparently. At least that's what Edgeworth said. That makes it seem all the more suspicious. Who knows? This might turn out to be the clue that breaks the case. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if this was the clue that broke the case? Can't show him the... SL9. 2 different cases. So there are 3 cases I gotta be juggling. Imagine that. Oh, she's gone. Well, I wanna see. Come on, dude. You're useless dude. How did you become an officer? Yeah, he gone. Oh, right, he's also gone. Because he had to... Let's see, I already... Nope. I think I've sprayed all I could sprued. Let's see. Gant. What is a place that I should check again? Like, the only thing I can think of is to present him with more evidence. Hopes that something will happen. But I presented him everything. Maybe something here that I missed? No, wait. There's still more. Just gotta keep, check this out. Okay. Can you tell me more about it? Love. Locker. Oh, this? This is all stuff I got on day one. This is all stuff I got after the trial. Oh, wait. Oh, shit, I didn't read all that. You are the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later. Oh, right. He must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. Just realized it is so funny that Von Carmack killed Edgeworth's father, then adopted Edgeworth. Like, ha! I'm your dad now. All part of his dastardly plan. Okay, Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. Serial killing. That's why the punishment was death. Things like that have happened in real life, like mass murder, whole family killed, and like they thought they caught the guy, so they executed him, but then it turns out someone else was the killer, so 2 executions, and obviously that would be like a scandalous for the police department and everyone involved. Like, you condemned an innocent man to death. You monsters. So they have to cover their asses, and how do they do that? By saying, actually, both of them were guilty. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time, Damon Gant. That wacky old kook was involved in the case 2 years ago too, then. He was a top officer, and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is why was the deputy chief of police on the investigation? In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. Updated autopsy report. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. Well, blood kinda is on your hands because you got the wrong guy. We won our guilty verdict, and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't? Of course not. You didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code, and follow it faithfully. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something. My sister? What? If you were still studying forensic science? Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today, Mr. Wright and I were using this. Luminol testin fluid. Well then, you might have use for this. Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints. It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know. I've no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. Edgeworth, I'm really... No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Thanks. How about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well? His hands are too big. This fingerprint set requires a woman's touch. Right. I do remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Okay, later. I'm going before you change your mind. Oh, wait. Nice. Cotton ball, the stick. What? There's always... No, there's always something you can examine. No, whatever. Our investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. That one. Here, in this blood on the detective's evidence locker. Let's use the secret weapon we just borrowed. Or gifted it. Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. A finger. Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. So let's choose the finger that will have left behind the clearest print. I already can't tell the difference at a glance. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. Obviously it's the thumb, right? Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done. You blow. You blow on it. Blow into the Nintendo DS microphone. First, we sprinkle the aluminum powder. Huh? How do you do that? With enter. See? Ah, looks like that did the trick. The aluminum powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess. All right, here we go. How do I do that? By blowing. Press E to blow. Wow, that looks like fun. I think I'm getting used to it, though. It's fine. It won't go up your nose or anything. Just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. I guess I'd better give it a try. Okay. Oh. Okay, I can't actually blow. I guess that's good. I don't want to blow into this, fancy microphone that I have. Ahem. Breathe in. Okay, blow. Oh! That's so cool. Aha! You did it! You found one! But this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left his handprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. Hey man, negative results are still results. Calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations. But it does seem a shame. While we are at it, why don't we look for other prints? Other prints? Looking at the locker door again closely, it seems like there are fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Oh my god! Fingerprints outside the blood. Okay. Oh! I'm still gonna blow, because, you know. Come on, man. Yay! A print so clear it's dazzling. Dazzling? Well, it is aluminum powder. Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's smash it up right away. We're not done yet. This is quite a process. Ugh. Sorry, I was eating chicken tenders. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? I guess he's right. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Ettrick. And point out the person you think left these prints. How am I supposed to know who it was? Look at the prints, you dumbass. I can make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means that the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. Everything has something to do with our case. So, whose fingerprints would be most likely found in this evidence locker? Oh boy. What is this thing? What's that for? It's a spiral. Different types of fingerprints. Oh! Death gumshoe. That is so cool. There was a, like a CSI or NCIS fingerprint testing kit that was like for kids, so like you could be a detective, and like it was recalled. And you want to know why it was recalled? Because it had contained asbestos. So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me the so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking so what. Okay, so it came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. Okay. Oh boy. This is where we got a luminal fluid reaction, right? Right. There was a handprint here. Okay, wanna try using this? There go Wright sparkling again. Okay, let's check for prints. That's the spirit. Oh, but I have to warn about something first. What? The area with the blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemicals. Any prints of that area will have been wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no prints. But, there is still something that... There's still one place you can find prints. We say the probability of our hypothesis is high. Don't ask me. Anyway, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away. Other than the ones left by the bloody hand. Here. What? They would be on the thumbprint scanner. Oh! I don't see anything. The thumbprint. Because there was no blood there. Oh my god. Oh! I gave it my best shot. That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it? But it doesn't look like I've got a clear result from this print. What? Okay, let's try a different finger then. Get a little bit dusty. Now that's a fingerprint. See, I thought for sure the answer would have been checking the... I mean, all that would be... I don't know for sure that this handprint was left behind by the guy who did the... This is probably it. Is 16 the max number of comparison because Emma Sky is 16? Hey, these fingerprints, whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? Why would he have a bloody thing? That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. Emma? This is decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. The luminol patch. The blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh. Oh! So, you have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped blood stain. Why would Officer Marshall? Looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you call decisive evidence. I don't believe it. Okay, hopefully we can finish this trial today. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is confused as we are. I shouldn't have eaten more food. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So how'd it go? Oh, really? All-nighters? What do you stay up late at night thinking about? Woman? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. Why did I make that joke? I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. Oh! A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? Oh, that's when you plead guilty to, like, one crime, and in exchange, they drop all the charges for a different crime. So, like, if you're on trial for a Pirate and Sailor Moon manga, you can plead guilty to that, and they'll drop the charges of the much lesser crime of murder. We agreed that if I told him the truth behind this simultaneous murder, he wouldn't see capital punishment. Oh, that's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... What's my regret? I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. I mean, that's ideal, probably. If you plead guilty, they shouldn't be allowed to execute you. That would work as a deterrent, because, like, it would encourage people to confess to crimes if they knew they'd get a lighter sentence. I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Sky, You found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Bloodstained fingerprints, to be exact. Ugh. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what the sleeves don't mean. In order to defend my sister, you're gonna accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the prosecutor. Sorry, just heard something. I want to make sure I wasn't getting caught on my fancy microphone. It's not actually fancy, it's a headset. Which is probably way cheaper than the microphones most gamers use. It's, I don't have a big butt like other YouTubers. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Body was moved. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today, I will present evidence relating to a murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what set Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things. Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait. Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Gets robbed from the get-go. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? So it looks like I've got to defend two different suspects. Imagine that. I saw a video of a guy, like, Japanese guy, cooked a steak in his bed with an iron, and the way he seasoned the steak was he took a bunch of peppers and garlic and other spices, he chewed it up in his mouth, and he spat it onto the steak, and it was... I have so many questions. Yes, sir, I'm Officer Mike Meekin, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderous, sir. I'm so glad I'm not defending this guy.
So you're telling us you're a professional killer?
Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir.
Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is...
Sir, I'm what you'll call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend.
Please, Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir.
Officer Meekins.
Yes, sir.
Give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order. This is not your trial, Meekins. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I'm a part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. God, why is this guy so weird? Heh. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, and then I did it. After that, I passed out, until another officer smacked me awake.
So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you?
Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir.
I see. Then you fainted, and a colleague helped you regain consciousness.
Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
What I need here is more info to work with. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes, now there's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. I knew that evidence would come into play.
The Blue Badger?
Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the chief of detectives, sir. You know, I'm starting to like this guy, the mascot. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transfer process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir.
I see. Sounds like a very, important mission.
After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around. But I relocated the Blue Badge to the evidence room.
Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room.
Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen. What? In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is. I found it. This one. This is the one right here.
Could you please read us the number?
Yes, sir. It's 4989596. That's my number, sir. I see. Huh? But the number 4989596 is shown as being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down.
I see. So it was during that second time when...
Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen. So that's all covered except for this. Just need to find out who this guy is. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir. A knife. Detective Goodman.
Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then?
Well, with him charging in on me like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. Yeah, he's a cop. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept it cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. Oh no, police on police violence. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life, then I did it. What exactly do you mean by Wayne when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. I see. He must have been desperate. Yeah, this is definitely the kind of cop who isn't allowed to carry a gun. Stop or we'll be forced to chase you because we don't carry guns. Indubitably. Next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood. And then, the next thing I knew...
Yes?
He punched me right in my face, sir. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. 15 minutes after the second death of Goodman. How does a man get murdered twice? Hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain.
That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, at least.
When I came round him, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Banner, sir. I returned to the entrance before things got out of hand. Wait, didn't you wake up in jail? Whatever. Well, we can all rest easy now.
I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened.
Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. You know, there is one other possibility. He didn't actually kill Goodman. Goodman didn't die in the evidence locker. He knocked out Meekins and walked over to the prosecutor's parking lot with that knife wound.
Yes, Officer Meekins?
With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The chief delivered it? Psycho Mantis?
What is that? Videotape?
Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
Objection!
What? Well, I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Apparently my tune isn't being picked up by the mic. Whack. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever.
Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim.
Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Five Nights at Freddy's.
The animatronic characters do get a little bit quirky at night.
Ugh. Is this an analog horror? Man, why is the camera like this? Why not just... Had to take a picture of that. I mean, the way this is framed, it looks like Goodman killed Meekins. That's what, like, if this was, like, the first thing they showed at the at the beginning of this episode, I would assume that Meekins was the murder victim.
Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us?
What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going so smoothly?
Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room and some sort of, activity did take place.
Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir. As you wish, sir. Oh, boy. More testimony. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprints to. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must have been. No one else could have unlocked it. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination.
I don't know what this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Okay. Even Edgeworth is getting sick of this kangaroo court. Okay. No one else? Wait a minute. I wish I could speed this up. Why can't I speed it up? Okay, so the evidence I have to present is either the security camera or the locker. I'm gonna start with the locker first because the lamp lighted up, so anyone could have opened it. Nope, music's still going. Yep. No, that's wrong! Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction?
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
I propose you have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. Sure, I mean, it's not like he would want me to point it out. Edgeworth, you fool! This is what I was made for.
Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy become a police officer? Yeah, that was probably, it must have been like a traumatic experience for Meekins.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us.
Where's the contradiction that
Indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman.
It's my attorney's badge, sir. It proves I'm a real lawyer. Okay.
Take that!
The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir. Do you mean to me, sir? As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. Wouldn't you have a locker, Meekins? Well, you're not a detective, so maybe. If so, then something is seriously wrong with his picture. It's getting spooky. Yeah, the light was already on, which means that anyone could have opened the locker. Oh, brother. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Here, notice the light?
What's this? It's already lit. It's lit, fam.
Precisely my point, Your Honor. The lock was already open before the victim grabbed the handle.
Oh! What up? What up? What's the meaning of this?
I feel like that's your catchphrase, isn't it? Order, order, what's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked.
Oh, I know. It must have been broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction.
Oh well. Oh well. It just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor. Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the system's sensor? Something jammed the sensor, say. There's something else that seems out of place in this video. Really? I only noticed the light. Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage.
Very well. Let's inspect the video once more. Locker wasn't locked. Point,
Nothing out of the ordinary there. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. It has to be the glove falling out, right? That's why it didn't properly close, because a glove was stuck in the door.
what's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door, sir. We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted?
Oh, man. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times you get stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me.
But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door.
Not only that, it would have to also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator.
Yes, an insulator. But at the crime scene,
There just might have been something that fits the description.
but sir, by insulator, you don't mean...
I think I finally got this figured out.
Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door?
Why are you asking me like you're my teacher? I mean, I guess this game is, like... This could be like... Don't use this to teach kids about the legal system. Unless you're in Japan. I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove.
But we can't be sure that was the victim's locker.
It's clearly for examining evidence. Every detective would have a set of rubber gloves, right? It has a tag that says SL9 incident. Oh. This video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir, it would appear so, sir!
Order! 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 So, are we to believe then that the victim, this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman?
Do not be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir, me, sir. I'm not sure what you are referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? This whole court is a joke. I have nothing but contempt for this court. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective has used his card. Okay, but you told me earlier that he didn't have his card. You had to you showed your card to him, and an ID card record. I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. Yeah, Bruce Goodman. The ID card used at 5:14 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime. Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Murder cases, special cases, extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. It's called noon because it is noon. It's not called midnight because it's not midnight. Has used his card. Did he? But it was found at the prosecutor's office crime scene. He wouldn't have been able to use it. Wait a minute, let me look. So, let's see. This crime happened at 4:15. At least according to this picture. He wouldn't have had the card at that point. This has to be it, right? Objection! Booyah. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not gonna wait a sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
A lost item report. It's only half completed.
But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something has to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Order. So, what does this all mean?
It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Order. Does the prosecution have a response?
I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's the opposite? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't gonna end well. Well, well. It seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth.
The defense has already done the explain and form. The victim in this video is a thief, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime.
So
the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot, at the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon.
ah.
I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. Oh.
The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Just who exactly was the victim Officer Beacons encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman.
Okay. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something for us, Lana. I know. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? Object. Always object. That's the one thing I'm good at. One moment, Your Honor. The two things Phoenix Wright does when all else fails. Object and present his attorney badge. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Nobody. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing, and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Do you seriously have to see all of this? However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. Fresh blood. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
The prosecution considers the police department to be unrelated.
We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be by chance. Time to call a certain Texas stranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Again, is she reading his mind? Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness.
Who do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person who you would have testified, what is his or her name?
What happens if I pick the murder victim? I'm not gonna do that. Officer Jake Marshall. Again, his name is literally Officer. Why him? let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare.
Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the defense is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
Court is now in recess.
Wow. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jacob Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Yeah, I've been waiting it this entire time. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma. You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How could you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me?
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals.
Oh, hey, Gumshoe.
Ooh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You got a lot of nerve, pal. Make a detective run around while on duty. And the top not to call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
Sorry, Detective.
You better be, pal. Hey. I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Scott.
That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked?
You mean this, right?
My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name?
Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 instant files? I'll need them by noon.
Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Wow, you're good. Why aren't you just defending yourself? Here, you might well do well to read them.
I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case.
Miss Skye was a witness? I'm gonna have to cross-examine her, aren't I? Joe Dark Killers. Is that the killer or the victim?
Take it from me. You don't want anything to do with serial murders.
Perpetrator, Joe Dark. Sentence, death. Victims, Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Jeff Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeff Bates, Neil Marshall. Neil Marshall? That'll be important later. Head prosecutor, Miles Edworth. Witnesses, Lana Skye, Emma Skye. Who was the defense? Guess that didn't matter. Executive investigators, Damon Gant, Lana Skye, head investigator, Bruce Goodman.
Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me?
Emma? But why is your name in here? She's a witness. What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana! This SL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as... the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark... No. Oh, Lana! It's over with. No! Emma, wait! She ran away.
You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. It hit the bricks.
Jake Marshall, Angel Star, Gaming Camp, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma as witnesses. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I'd better take a good look at this file. We're finishing this. It's the third day, final day of the trial. We're figuring this out, buddies. We're the investigators. We're making this happen.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
Emma didn't come back. I'm all on my own. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man same as you, wandering the trails of civilization.
Occasionally, hoping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind to call it out.
To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. I've never heard Edward described that way. Ah! I swallowed my water too fast. It's fine. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You're in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime took place. Is this correct?
According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? For this blood of soul which is boundless as the desert sands, no paper can summon it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time they went down. I'm just an innocent traffic man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail.
Oh boy.
I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I cared for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Ooh, sick burn. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security cam systems?
I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers?
Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those?
He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines, or with following orders.
Everyone's got their weaknesses, now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours.
Okay. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right?
Ain't you heard of what I said, partner?
This is empty.
I told you that ain't my style.
So you just weren't doing your job. I'm afraid I don't understand.
No desperado I know lets rules get his way.
No desperados I know joined the police force.
So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I haven't said where the evidence from that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that?
Sorry, partner. Can't say I do.
I haven't been in that cryptic weeks.
How does this guy avoid being fired?
Besides, the room's protected by two security systems anyway.
You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct?
Of course. Back in the day, my opera was a gold mine of evidence.
And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism?
Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works.
That's quite incredible. You move your feet on the pedals, you turn the pedals, and it moves the wheel. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that you mention it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too.
At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? If I remember right, I was at a street side scene at the time of the day.
I'm just finishing traveling. Once you are out of demo, it's time I have the trail. What were you doing in a place like that?
I was eating spaghetti. Not even English steak teachers can eat that polished Mongola sepia pasta. You mean to tell us you invited a police tourist to eat some noodles?
Not all desperados eat tacos,
That's not right. I hope this at least taught you a lesson.
That's strange. This is usually where it says, did you not want to raise this gear? Salary cutting noises. This isn't... I refuse to read any of this. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I best keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I better up the ante. Oh, that's right. I have proof that he did go into the evidence room. Yes. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? Uh-oh. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime.
And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner.
It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint.
Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my round about once a month.
Aren't you supposed to do it every day?
It's only natural my fingerprints would be there.
But Is it natural that they would be bloody? I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood.
Witness, what's the meaning of this?
My favorite color was blood.
Your bloodstained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall?
It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with the head on his shoulders.
I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the bloodstained fingerprints?
Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints, found at the scene of the crime.
Bloodstained fingerprints.
Like I said, it's only
Oh, fuck. Like I said,
it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched Blanco where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. I think there's... Which one is the... Where is... I just need to find the lie. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. So then, what about the bloody handprint?
Wasn't mine. It's no mystery.
Please explain.
My locker was covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened. Murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. It didn't even help the murderer was wearing gloves.
Can't unscrew out of this one. Got to find something. Something decisive to tie Officer Marshall to this crime. Let's see, where's the evidence? No one will believe those defense attorneys. The print was white. Was the murderer wearing gloves? Wait a minute. Are those fingerprints? If only I were here. Oh, what? I can't fucking... I have to watch it. This Five Nights at Freddy's ass footage. Nothing there. Blood on the jacket. That's the jacket that Lana was wearing, so the blood wasn't from the supposed murder at the parking lot. That ought to clear her name. Law. Wait, was that there before? It wasn't. Okay. Wait. Nope. Oh, brother. As the bloodstained hand. Completely unrelated. Are we sure? Unrelated. At least something. Was he wearing gloves? No, that ain't it. Testimony contradicts the evidence, somehow. The murderer touched the locker. There's gotta be something to do with that video. No. I'll just, something decisive. That's a coincidence. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't going to get no reward for man, wanna know why? Completely unrelated. Gotta be something to do with it. How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep blood coming. There was a blood stain at the scene thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. Found on it. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So how did the murderer wearing gloves happen to place her hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprints? That's the only logical conclusion. Got to find something. Something decisive to tie Officer Marshall to this crime. I'll just brute force it. Again. Okay. Nope. Nope. Unrelated. Let me press him on everything. I'll just press him on everything. That's because, how do you put it? Pay your respects month to month?
Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
Ah. Must have been using the fingerprint on all this time without ever knowing. The print had been white.
Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture? So I did just have to press him.
This seal of blood in the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this.
The security tape.
So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise.
But his trail, I can prove it. I can prove that it was, buddy. Damn it. Nope. What do you mean by that?
You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner?
Don't blame me, blame the way this legal system works.
If so, that video is the only directive you have.
But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots.
Places you can't see. Cameras panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave them without being caught on tape. We don't have time for the speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
Finally. There. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll not soon forget, Officer Marshall.
The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers.
You're not from Texas, dude.
Can you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Very well. Okay. You can clearly be seen in this video. Oh, 8 words.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video.
That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe.
Now then, let's rewind the video again. It's rewind time. If I was an Ace Attorney, I'd want Fortnite and Marquez Brownlee.
Oh, the white clock. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then, it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away.
Order, order. It would seem that's the only
Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man.
So what if my locker was open?
That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? I'll call your bluff. You said open the locker. Now prove it.
Okay. First, I'm gonna see if his locker ever lights up. I wish you. Why not make it so that you can fast forward whenever you want? Why can't I fast forward during this? Chicken. He's doing the robot. No light, so that isn't the one. Oh shit. If that's Officer Marshall's locker. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, he's right! I only have 5. What? I only have 5 bullets. My god, he's right! Anyway.
A fingerprint sensor.
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, he's certainly no TF2 engineer. Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. I swear, everyone in this courtroom has the object permanence of a baby.
In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint lockers.
So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Oh, he's having a breakdown. What is that, a nutsack?
I only got one word for you, partner.
No! Huh?
Order, order, order. Witness, explain yourself. this is a joke. It's the worst I ever heard.
I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Ole!
Please answer the question.
What is he now, a bullfighter? That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure out the rest from here. You can? Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet, Officer Meekins sends the Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
Seems Mr. Wright has an answer. Certainly a possible conclusion.
Well then,
Let's hear it. Officer Marshall was standing right here.
there? But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw that man's face, he'd know for sure. But he never did see the man's face. Might find out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. Yeah, that's what I've been saying. He didn't have his card. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
Oh, if he showed his card, Officer Meekins would have been able to tell that he wasn't actually Goodman. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. You have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it.
You're gonna have to do better than that to break the detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your feet, but you don't see me complaining.
You complained twice.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt? That Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
Well, I don't have anything like that.
I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
This can't be happening. So poverty is what can I do? It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box. Yeah, start from what you think. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. Or rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think that this locker was open in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps the video was the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot.
Very well. Let's take another look at the security tape.
After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker and put away the white cloth. Weird. Why did the witness have to open his locker? Why did he have to put away that cloth? It couldn't have been a... You're not saying the glove was It's not like the... Was it a glove? Or... Look, that's even the same knife that, Marshall uses to shave his beard. Could it have been this? Well, what do you have to say to that?
Alright, partner, you really want to know the reason I had to open my locker?
Why?
So I could stuff you in there.
Huh?
I'm sure the world would be a better place with you sent off to the boneyard.
Fortunately, unsolved cases can't be stored in the evidence room. Now I'm an unsolved case. Rude, uncalled for. That insult doesn't even make sense, dude. Why did he have to open his locker? What happened between him attacking Meekins and him leaving what happened between him attacking Meekins and him opening the locker? What? Could it be this? For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know what to do. I don't know to what end. Yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A bloody white coat?
You couldn't just walk out like that. So you hid the coat in your locker.
Not bad, partner.
Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like the only message, Ma.
I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. Two years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, would we?
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
All right. It seems the time has come. I had to do it that day. I just couldn't stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
That is the lie.
So the supposed victim was really you.
But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one else was murdered, then how could that be?
Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand.
Cutting your own hand wouldn't produce that much blood. I should know.
My guess is he's the donor.
It was way too much blood for such a small donation. I mean, I don't know. We don't know how deep the cut was. Like, maybe he'll be needing stitches. Just right. Wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. Oh, yeah? You know what? Maybe before I object, I should just press him on everything first. Do this correctly. When you say it, you mean...
Do you even have to ask, partner?
The SO9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transfer that day.
Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
When a case is closed, only that case is detected in the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, Father. That case is mine.
But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? I know why.
That day was my last chance, that's why. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence.
Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? Yeah, you're in charge of the security. Surely you could just walk in whenever you wanted.
If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested with stealing evidence, which won't get me anywhere.
So you didn't use a security camera.
And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident.
So that really was why Goodman started filling out the lost item report.
I returned his ID. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor office parking lot.
The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight.
What do you mean, partner?
I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that lock for yourself. But you could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall.
I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out.
You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off?
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID.
I mean, That's the rules, right? I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. He was following the rules. He was doing his job. Why did Edward get so much influence? God. These cops need to unionize. Anyway, he threw himself at me, and I ended up cutting him slack. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. But me knocking him out. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I knew it! I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out, and managed to escape. I knew the sheriffs wouldn't be caught on the camera. So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, on that day, there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. I had a feeling we'd end up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I better take another look at the files. So that's it then. I have to show them the files. Shush. No. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. Would he, blind? The victim shown on the tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker? Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edward, where is that evidence? Still missing. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. The Fifth Amendment. I plead the Fifth. And the Second. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you are an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. Wow, consequences for a police officer. That's how you know this game is a work of fiction. But Tish, this can't be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Actually, maybe they would be. You know, that seems like a better deterrent than paid time off whenever a cop does a crime. That's all I'll say about that. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. Boy. I can't just forget the yes from Van instinct. You know why? Son of a bitch. But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes, but he wasn't the killer. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved the sentence. Or maybe he was. Hold on. Angel Star said that they got a suspect, and that suspect was executed. But then it was revealed that the suspect didn't actually do the crime. Huge scandal. Everyone involved in the investigation had got sacked. So maybe Joe Dark was the second suspect, the true suspect. Yeah, the name of the guy who was wrongfully executed, that don't matter. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved a sentence.
I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it?
I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down in that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Okay. Come on. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. Cactus juice of the, peyote genus. Genus? Species? Juice of the peyote cactus has psychedelic effects, and in the popular first-person shooter game Team Fortress 2, the sub-weapon steak sandwich, what was it called? I forgot the full name of it. It was like the something steak sandwich, and it was like a breadless sandwich. It was just steak. Heavy eats it, and it like boosts his strength. It was originally going to be a peyote cactus, but they changed it because they didn't want, because that would be culturally insensitive. I have the SL9 instant file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here, in a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What?
A prosecutor?
He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award.
Now I remember.
Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. Then he died too.
That's right, he was killed, and the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Cannon, the then Deputy Chief of Police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed, at least according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight.
And that's it. That's your reason for your insane actions.
There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. But that, at exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. But, chance? It's got to be more than just that. Think, why did they happen at the same time? So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Well, at least that means Meekins is innocent, which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye.
Objection!
But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Objection!
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remains the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me this fool's got the draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. What? Okay. Grr! That wasn't my response. I rest my case.
It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Wait. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Hold it! Deus Ex Machina. Oh boy, it's Lana. I mean, Emma, thank you. Your Honor, wait! Emma! The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Why are you there? Right? What do you mean, right? Right, Mr. Wright.
Are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor? Oh, in a sense. You know, that would be funny if, if much like Trucy Wright, Phoenix just ends up adopting all these, kids who are left parentless because of a murder trial. And so now he has, I mean, I guess he's technically Apollo's death. That's spoilers. I'll wait until the Apollo Justice trilogy. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking for is a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. That's sussy. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. Oh, that's generous. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings. Now that she mentions it. The names of both Sky sisters were in that file, as witnesses. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprints had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker?
But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So, I ran over there and looked at it again. So did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator at all. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, Those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them... Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me. Oh, boy.
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
Yes, Your Honor. It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry you can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. You don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Dafuq Gumshoe's locker? Let me save first. Could there be something I'm missing? This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems to be clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. Of course I'm grasping. That's how I've won every trial so far.
You've been staring pretty intently at these floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans?
Missing. Is it the jar?
Take that!
Wait, it didn't get penalized? Didn't get penalized. Footprints.
Take that!
Nope. Something is missing. Wait. What was missing? Glove? Something that's missing in the floor plans.
Take that!
What about that piece of plywood? I got it! I did it! Right? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. But why would he be on the floor plan? This is just like... He's not a part of the building. So... So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well?
Well, what?
Gah. That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. What?
So that means... just exactly what does that mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found at that locker.
Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Oh, finally, you're here. Emma! On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in.
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
It's not that far-fetched. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor. No, it doesn't. But it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time... someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been... If I have to, like, do another thing... Detective Goodman, when he was really murdered. Oh, okay. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder report really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur?
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being caught by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room.
That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this.
Very well. Then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Ezra said, proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. Come on, dude. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Trust me, this is... Okay. The first crime. The evidence. Within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. 4:30, 4 p.m. So between that... He died before... No, wait. The autopsy was wrong? Is this an outdated autopsy report? It's the autopsy report, right? This is the proof. It's quite simple, you see. If it was so simple, then you got it wrong. Damn it. Okay. blood, right? This. Last bite of chicken. Crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. There's the first ID number. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card.
Oh, the ID card record.
Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m.
Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done?
No! I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. No! No! Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me.
Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminal test that blood was it. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. Yeah, 7777. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. 7777777. 7 sevens.
Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7777777. 7 sevens.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7 sevens.
That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. What? It's the last day of the trial. We don't have any time.
Explain yourself, son.
The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. Okay, but that would still narrow it down, right? Also, what happened to the rule of law? Objection! But that's ridiculous. Just how? Rule of law. Everyone is subject to the same laws, regardless of their social status. I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted.
An official charge.
You're all alike, aren't you? But you're a cover-up, Sandy Force. That's how the prosecutor's office operates.
I take pride in my work, officer. I would appreciate it if you keep your slander to yourself.
Slander, is it? Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yes. No, not to you. To her, the defendant said. Your own will, exactly. Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 7 sevens. Don't blame me for a fool. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. Yes, a line incident. Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. But Lana, I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look at me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Oh my God! A prosecutor using forged evidence? Oh, who would have thunk it? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to do in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. See, that's a very Saul Goodman type gambit. That's something Saul Goodman would do, or maybe even Chuck McGill. Because, you know, he did a lot of dirty, unlawful tactics in order to protect the law from Saul Goodman. Which is why I'm saying if Edgeworth did become a defense attorney, he would be the Saul Goodman analog, not Phoenix Wright. He would forge evidence to get obvious criminals off the hook. But Lana, even if it involved forging evidence, see, that's what I'm talking about. No. No! Edgeworth, why are you surprised? You also use forged evidence. What? Ah. It looks like, we will have to go back to this tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow will be the end of this game. Hopefully.